Have you ever wondered what it's really like to grow up under the world's gaze every day? Imagine being just 7 years old, expected to wave, smile, and engage in front of millions, even when your heart might just want to be anywhere else but on display. That's the reality of Prince Louis, the youngest member of the British royal family, and today we're going beyond the headlines, beyond the memes, and into the untold story behind his most iconic public moments. From balcony antics to playful gestures that stole global attention, there's more here than meets the eye, and what you're about to discover might completely change how you see royal childhoods forever. From the very moment Prince Louis stepped into the global spotlight, his life has unfolded in ways that far exceed the ordinary experiences of most children. What the world sees, his bright, mischievous waves, his spontaneous bursts of laughter, the tiny expressions that prompt smiles and headlines, are only fragments of a far deeper and more intricate reality. Each public moment that appears effortless on screen has been shaped by layers of context, tradition, and expectation that remain unseen by audiences worldwide. During the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, one such fleeting moment involving Prince Louis captured headlines throughout Britain. At first glance, it seemed like nothing more than a lighthearted slip, a spontaneous burst of behavior, mischievous and unpredictable, caught on camera and circulated with amusement. Most people laughed. Some brushed it off as playful chaos, a moment of childhood exuberance. Yet almost no one paused to consider a question far more revealing. Why did that moment feel different from all the others? Louis, the youngest member of the British royal family, has long been presented to the world as the very picture of youthful charm and carefree spirit. With sparkling eyes, a quick grin, and an energy that seems boundless, he has captured the hearts of millions who see in him a familiar and cherished expression of childhood. To many, he appears to be joyful, spontaneous, and utterly at ease in the shared global gaze. Yet behind those carefully captured snapshots and public smiles lies a side of his experience that remains largely unseen, a quiet, emotional world shaped by expectations and pressures no child should ever have to bear alone. From the very minute he was born, Louis's life ceased to unfold in the privacy of family homes or quiet personal spaces. Instead, every gesture, every laugh, and every moment of curiosity instantly became public property, captured by lenses, described by commentators, and analyzed by millions of observers around the world. Long before he could fully understand why, Louis learned that his smallest actions were destined to be watched, dissected, and shared on a global scale. Ordinary experiences that other children take for granted, a shy look, a yawn, a playful skip, became fodder for headlines and social media moments. His existence has not been lived within the quiet rhythms of private family life, but in the collective eye of an audience that expects him always to be poised, cheerful, and unflappable. Even at an age when most children are still discovering themselves, Louis has had to navigate a world where his emotions, reactions, and behavior are constantly on display, with little room for the vulnerability or awkwardness that every growing child experiences. While his older siblings, Prince George and Princess Charlotte, have had the opportunity to grow gradually into their public roles, Louis has faced these pressures at a much younger stage of childhood. Whereas George and Charlotte could slowly adapt and learn how to meet expectations with increasing confidence, Louis was thrust into a world of visibility almost from the start. The applause he receives from the public and the affection he inspires can give the appearance of admiration and support, but these very responses also mask a harsher reality. His childhood is not defined by anonymity, play, or self-discovery the way many children's lives are. Instead, it has been shaped by a constant performance of composure and cheer. The gestures that seem to enchant crowds, the cheerful waves, the bright-eyed enthusiasm, can simultaneously act as a kind of emotional armor, an outward expression that conceals what lies beneath. This duality, public adoration paired with inner strain, is the unseen part of Louis's story. It is not captured in memes or newsreels, but it exists in the quiet moments between the flashes of cameras and the curated smiles. For Louis, every public appearance, every interaction with a crowd is more than just a moment of visibility. It is also a test of emotional endurance. He is expected not just to react, but to perform, not just to smile, but to embody the image of a joyful young prince representing centuries of tradition. This expectation can place an emotional burden on a child who, at heart, is still learning how to understand and express his own inner world. In this way, Louis's experience becomes not just a story about media fascination or public perception, but a deeper reminder of what it means to grow up under constant scrutiny. It underscores a universal truth, that childhood is meant to be a time of growth, exploration, and emotional openness, experiences that are fundamentally altered when they must always coexist with public expectation. Prince Louis's public persona may seem carefree and spirited, but that simple perception overlooks the many layers beneath his outward behavior. To the world, he often appears as the picture of youthful energy and playful charm, a young child who lights up royal events with animated expressions, spontaneous laughter, and moments that repeatedly go viral online. Over the years, observers have pointed to dozens of occasions when Louis stole the show, from making funny faces at flypasts and waving enthusiastically at crowds to seemingly dancing on the balcony during national celebrations. Like all children, Louis has moments of vulnerability, times when he naturally tries to make sense of his surroundings and express his emotions. Yet unlike most children, his vulnerabilities and reactions do not unfold out of sight. They often occur in front of cameras and are quickly circulated by the global media. A simple gesture, such as covering his ears during a loud flypast or yawning during a formal procession, is reported and discussed worldwide. In these brief glimpses, the public sees the real, unscripted reactions of a young boy navigating events designed for adults and steeped in tradition. Being the youngest member of the British royal family means that Louis's everyday reactions are often reframed into narratives that fit the broader expectations of the monarchy and its public image. His mischievous behavior, once described by those close to the family as that of a cheeky monkey and a typical third child, frequently draws affectionate responses from both the royal household and fans. Yet this framing also highlights an important distinction. While Louis's playful moments are celebrated, the context of why they resonate so greatly with audiences is rarely discussed. The emotional price of life in the spotlight becomes more evident with each major public appearance. While audiences around the world see adorable antics and charming interactions, there are also countless moments when Louis's reactions appear more subdued, hesitant, or simply childlike in a context that demands solemnity. For example, during the Platinum Jubilee balcony appearance, while his older siblings engaged with the cheering crowds, Louis appeared less animated, sometimes looking contemplative or distant from the celebration around him. This contrast between expectation and expression can be striking. George and Charlotte, who are older, have had more time to grow accustomed to public roles and the ceremonial aspects of royal life. They have gradually learned how to engage with traditions while maintaining comfort in the spotlight. Louis, by contrast, still has many of the natural fluctuations in focus, energy, and engagement typical of children his age, but his position magnifies every moment and invites interpretation from global audiences. Prince Louis's reactions, whether a genuine display of boredom during a long ceremony or an animated outburst during a parade, are not unusual for a child. Many psychologists and child development experts note that young children often show honesty in their body language and expressions when placed in unfamiliar or overwhelming settings. What is unusual is how these moments are captured, broadcasted, and commented upon by millions around the world, turning ordinary childlike behavior into internationally shared moments. Ultimately, Louis's public behavior reflects both his spirited personality and the unique environment in which he is growing up. While his antics are endearing to many, they also serve as reminders of the unusual circumstances he experiences, where ordinary childhood reactions are instantly transformed into subjects of public fascination and discussion. There have indeed been occasions when Prince Louis's participation in official events has shown the unpredictability that comes with childhood, especially in highly structured settings. At major ceremonial occasions such as Trooping the Colour, which marks the monarch's official birthday and brings hundreds of thousands of spectators to London, Louis has been photographed enthusiastically waving to crowds well after other members of the royal family have paused, prompting reactions from his siblings and delight from onlookers. During these appearances, aides and family members often stay close at hand, guiding his small movements and helping him follow the order of formal protocol. Such attentive support is necessary in a setting full of tight schedules and long-standing traditions, but it also underscores how unusual it is for a child of his age to be required to participate in events that are highly ceremonial and visible to an international audience. Royal occasions like Trooping the Colour are carefully planned down to the smallest detail, with every step choreographed to reflect centuries-old tradition. The Buckingham Palace balcony appearance, one of the most iconic moments of such events, has included Louis alongside his parents, siblings, and extended family, where he has charmed observers by mimicking his grandfather King Charles's wave and engaging playfully with crowds below. On other occasions, cameras have captured him making light-hearted gestures or interacting with his older siblings during the carriage procession that precedes the main ceremony, showing a blend of youthful spontaneity and exposure to formal royal duties that most children never experience. These images, meant to present the royal family as composed and unified, can unintentionally highlight just how unique this life is for a young boy. Events such as VE Day commemorations, where the family gathered to recognize the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II in Europe, have shown Louis engaging in playful interactions, like tugging playfully on his father's uniform, moments that are earnest and childlike, but occur amid serious national remembrance. In these public settings, ordinary childhood behavior becomes part of a grand, symbolic performance in front of thousands of spectators and cameras. Growing up royal involves far more than smiling on cue or waving gracefully. It means participating in centuries-old traditions, state celebrations, and formal rituals that are broadcast globally and deeply tied to national identity. At events like Wimbledon coronation ceremonies and national parades, the presence of children like Prince Louis brings both joy to audiences and a reminder of how youth intersects with centuries of pageantry. Even in these carefully managed moments, signs of Louis's natural behavior, whether a playful wave, a curious glance, or an animated gesture, make clear that the experience of childhood unfolds differently when it is observed by millions. Despite visible signs of personality and spontaneity, the palace typically maintains a measured, formal tone about children's public roles, focusing on tradition and the continuity of royal duties rather than individual emotional narratives. This has been the long-standing approach of the institution, to uphold a public image of unity and heritage, often without detailed commentary on the personal experiences of its youngest members. In practice, this means that while Louis's playful behavior might be noticed and celebrated by royal watchers, official statements tend not to delve into the individual lives or emotional states of the children involved. What remains clear from these documented public appearances is that participation in royal events is both a privilege and an unusual responsibility for a young child. From lively balcony waves during major celebrations to playful moments with family members during processions, Prince Louis's role on the world stage combines centuries of ceremonial tradition with the simple, spontaneous behaviors that are a natural part of growing up, even when those moments happen under the watchful gaze of the public. As public awareness grows about how much life in the spotlight can shape a child's experience, traditional ways of managing royal appearances are increasingly being questioned. Royal watchers and media audiences have spent years focusing on the polished, ceremonial side of monarchy. Events like Trooping the Colour, VE Day commemorations, and the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, where young royals are expected to appear poised and composed in front of tens of thousands of spectators and millions more watching from around the world. Yet in many of these moments, it is precisely the unguarded, spontaneous behavior of Prince Louis that catches the public's attention and invites reflection. At the 2025 Trooping the Colour parade, for example, the 7-year-old charmed onlookers by closely mirroring his grandfather King Charles III's classic balcony wave, even giving a final cheeky wave as his family prepared to step back into Buckingham Palace. Earlier, during VE Day celebrations, many viewers noted on social media that Louis's playful energy and enthusiastic presence seemed to steal the show, prompting affectionate comments from audiences that extended beyond formal royal coverage. These glimpses of youthful spontaneity, whether a toothy grin, an enthusiastic wave, or a mischievous look, stand in contrast to the meticulously planned choreography that defines royal ceremonies. Behind the scenes, aides and organizers work to uphold centuries-old traditions, ensuring that each public appearance reinforces the continuity and stability of the monarchy, yet these carefully staged moments coexist alongside genuine expressions of childhood, reminding audiences worldwide that even those born into privilege are still, above all, children with the same range of reactions, curiosities, and spontaneous behavior as any young boy. The result is a kind of silent dialogue between tradition and authenticity. On one hand, the royal family maintains an image steeped in historical pageantry and ceremonial calm. On the other, public moments involving Louis often highlight the very human side of growing up in the spotlight, from playful waves to unexpected reactions during flypasts or balcony appearances. These moments may seem lighthearted, but they also reflect something deeper: the challenge of reconciling the historic expectations of monarchy with the natural, emotional experiences of childhood. It's worth noting that interpretations of Prince Louis's behavior have varied widely. Some commentators celebrate his playful nature as a breath of fresh air within the formal world of royal duties, while others see his candid reactions as reminders that no child, regardless of title, is ever truly untouched by the pressures of public life. Either way, the conversation has shifted from simply what he does in public to what his presence signifies about the evolving expectations placed on young royals. This unfolding discussion matters not because it tarnishes the image of the royal family, but because it invites broader reflection on how institutions rooted in tradition might adapt when faced with the emotional realities of the individuals who represent them. Prince Louis's journey, full of energetic waves, memorable gestures, and moments that go viral for their charm, reminds us that even those born into legacy and privilege are still shaped by human experience. It challenges us to rethink what it means to grow up under the watchful eye of the world and what responsibilities institutions have to balance tradition with emotional well-being. As this story continues to evolve, one thing becomes clear: the legacy of the monarchy must now grapple not only with history and ceremonial duty, but also with the very real emotional lives of those who sustain it. Will the royal family continue to protect its image at all costs, or will it embrace a path that acknowledges vulnerability, honors emotional depth, and places the well-being of its youngest generation alongside tradition? Stay tuned as we explore these questions further in future episodes, offering deeper insight into the choices facing the royal family, the pressures inherent in public life, and what changes may lie ahead as tradition meets emotional truth. This story is far from over, and its implications extend beyond palace walls, inviting all of us to consider what it truly means to grow up in the spotlight. If this story has changed how you see Prince Louis, or how you understand what it means to grow up in the spotlight, hit that like button right now and subscribe for more deep, meaningful insights into royal life you won't find anywhere else. And before you scroll away, drop a comment telling us which Prince Louis moment surprised you the most: his balcony wave, his playful faces, or that unforgettable Jubilee moment. Because in the next video, we're going even deeper, exploring how these early public experiences could shape the future of royal roles, tradition, and emotional well-being within one of the world's oldest institutions. You won't want to miss it.